Hello, and welcome to Yamoussoukro, the capital of Ivory Coast. We are flying over the Basilica of Our Lady of Peace. This basilica is an offering made to God by the first president of Ivory Coast, the late president, Félix Houphouët-Boigny, for 20 years of peace and prosperity that the country experienced from 1960 to 1980. To do this, he had to concede 150 hectares of his coconut plantation. That is to say, a quarter of the total area of his plantations. Of these 150 hectares, 130 completely fenced and allocated to the basilica. 10 hectares are occupied in part by the Hospital St. Joseph Mascati, and the last 10 hectares are reserved to accommodate a future Catholic university. Of the 130 hectares associated to the basilica, 72 hectares are already in use, 35 hectares of buildings and roads, 5 hectares of lawn, and 32 hectares of garden. The garden is French-styled and divided by a marble track of about 450 meters long that leads from the official entrance of the basilica to the entrance of the sanctuary. These two entrances are approximately 1 kilometer long. The basilica stands at a height of 158 meters. As a hyphen between God and men, it is built on a space of approximately 5 hectares. It has 3 parts. The first part of this basilica is a vast oval esplanade of 3 hectares bordered by 2 colonnades of 64 columns, each covered with 2 domes. On the ground floor are of chapels of approximately 100 seats for pilgrim meetings. In the middle of this esplanade, which is covered with marble, a huge dove with a span of 30 meters already shows the idea of peace. But here it is especially the symbol of the Holy Spirit. As the day of Christ's baptism, the esplanade has a capacity of 150,000 places, and when you crossed it, you find yourself in the covered part of the building, which is made in the shape of a cross. From the top, it's a big cross that you see on the ground. In the center of this holy cross is built the circular sanctuary, which is covered with the immense dome of the basilica, which is 60 meters high and 90 meters in diameter. This covered courtyard, which is the terrace at the entrance of the sanctuary, is completely covered with marble and has a capacity of 30,000 seats. Columns which support the roof of the court surround it. They are each 25 meters high. Known that for this basilica, there is a total of 368 columns, as impressive as the others. There are Doric, Corinthian, and also Ionic. When we enter the sanctuary, already at the entrance, we are impressed by this huge glass roof that forms the wall of the sanctuary. 5,000 shades of color decorate the wall of this sanctuary. With a diameter of 100 meters inside, the basilica has a height of 120 meters. Above, a glass vault overlooks the sanctuary. In the middle of it stands a dove with a wingspan of 7 meters. The interior of the basilica has a capacity of 18,000 seats, 7,000 seats offered by the benches, and 11,000 by space and aisles in the middle of these benches. Straight in front of the entrance to this sanctuary, almost in the center, a huge canopy 28 meters high serves as a decoration to the altar of 7 meters long, which is covered with marble. Just behind, there are 2 sacristies, also covered with marble. Beneath this canopy, a huge chandelier, made mainly of crystal-like candlesticks, hangs on a circular dome of blue color. On the upper level of the basilica are stained glass windows, representing the 12 apostles of Christ. From this position, one can better contemplate the vault of colored glass, which is dedicated to the Holy Spirit. The columns supporting the interior of the sanctuary are of two types: the Ionic, 30 meters high, and the 2.8 meters diameter are hollow. They accommodate ladders, stairs, and elevators that lead to higher levels. The Doric, as for them, support the weight of the structure. They are arranged in groups of 4 in 12 points of the sanctuary. They are 21 meters high. After the construction of this basilica, President Houphouët-Boigny donated it to the Vatican. It is a Catholic church and it is the largest Vatican embassy in the world in terms of superficies. So inside the basilica, a residence is built for the Pope, a building that has 2 levels. At the upper level, there are suites, of which one of them is the Papal suite. Inside, there's a chapel and rooms that serve as dwellings. Another building identical to this one accommodates the administration, the administrative headquarters of the foundation, to which is entrusted the management of the basilica. And this foundation, called the International Foundation Our Lady of Peace, is headed by a rector, who is the first responsible for this basilica. The pastoral and religious aspect is entrusted to a congregation, the community of Pallottine. Pallottines are represented by 4 priests and a deacon, who are permanently there for the management of the basilica. Inside this administration building, offices are assigned to the foundation and housing is provided for priests. This basilica is made with this pharaonic immensity, so that any visitor, any faithful who will come to pray or simply appreciate the beauty of this building, leaves with the spirit that for peace nothing is too expensive, nothing is too big. I thank you for having followed this tour. We invite you to come here very soon to better appreciate the architecture, discover many other details, and understand the theology accompanying the architecture of this building. The visit is well worth the effort. See you soon for a very nice visit to the Basilica of Our Lady of Peace, Yamoussoukro.